Hello everybody, and thank you for being here today. What you're looking at is a graph that shows the survival rate of businesses over time. As you can see, it's not a pretty picture. This L-shaped curve was first shown to me by Doug Noe. Doug is the executive director of SCORE Chicago. He used it to illustrate the problem that should concern every startup and small business owner. Something isn't working. And if you click on the chart data link, the raw numbers are just as frightening. The Bureau of Labor Statistics report that a staggering 50% of businesses fail in their first 5 years, and only about a third survive to see their 10th year anniversary. And from there, the numbers continue to drop until the statisticians stop reporting the data. Most businesses end up closing before their owners are able to sell it. And that means no nest egg for their retirement, no return for their investors, and lost jobs for their employees and their communities. But here's the astonishing thing. Even with these dire statistics, the SBA reports that small businesses account for about half U.S. private employment, and they contribute over 40% to our nation's GDP. And for this reason, they're often referred to as the backbone of our economy. But as you can see from the graphs, the trend lines are falling. It's getting harder for small businesses to survive and contribute to our economy. So like Doug said, we have to do something to resolve the problem of the L-shaped curve. And to do this, we have to understand why businesses are failing. So we commissioned a research study, and you can see the results at breakthroughproject.com. We surveyed over 400 business owners, and what we discovered is eye-opening. First, we found the mass majority of business owners believe they're building solid companies, poised for long-term success. However, when we dug a little deeper, and we asked these same business owners if they're implementing even the most basic management practices, the same kinds of practices associated with successful long-lived companies, they mostly answered no. For example, most don't standardize their day-to-day processes. Most don't have a way to capture their employees' ideas. Most don't have in place a program of continual improvement. What we discovered was that most startups and small businesses are suffering from what we're calling a management gap. The problem of the management gap can be explained by this three-legged stool. To build a solid organization, you need all three legs. You need a marketing leg, accounting leg, and a management leg. Most businesses start building their companies by focusing on the marketing leg. After all, there's no reason to focus on accounting or management if you haven't found your secret sauce, right? Once a company starts making sales, they're forced to focus at least some of their effort on the accounting leg, if for no other reason to fill out tax returns. But most leaders avoid the management leg. That is, until it's too late. They don't understand its importance until they're already suffering the typical set of growing and slowing pains. They're disorganized. They're overly dependent on specific employees doing specific work. They're spending too much time putting out the same fires over and over again. Their growth has plateaued. They're working 24/7, 365. Do these issues sound familiar? Well, to fill the management gap, we joined forces with the most elite entrepreneurship organizations to give you access to our nation's premier management approach, the U.S. Baldrige Performance Excellence Program. Are you familiar with Baldrige? Well, let me give you its background. Baldrige was established in 1987 by the U.S. Congress to create our nation's standard of business excellence. It has since been adopted by many of our country's largest and most successful organizations like Motorola and Boeing and Lockheed Martin and Honeywell, and the list goes on and on. They use Baldrige to improve quality, to reduce waste, to engage their employees, to increase customer satisfaction and innovation and sales and profits. You may not be familiar with Baldrige directly, but its ideas are found everywhere. It's found in best-selling books like Good to Great, E-Myth, and The Goal, and in management articles in popular business magazines like Fast Company and Harvard Business Review and Inc. Its theory is taught in business schools coast to coast and worldwide, and it's embodied in popular quality management methods like ISO and Lean and TQM and Six Sigma. So the question is, if Baldrige is found everywhere, why isn't it used by everyone? Well, there's a problem. The problem is it's much easier to discuss management theory than it is to apply it in the real world. For example, at first glance, the Baldrige framework looks very simple. It suggests that every business create a living strategic plan that focuses on satisfying the evolving needs of their customers, and where employees document and improve their company's operational processes using a standard set of tools that help create a culture of learning, innovation, and excellence. Each required element seems simple and familiar. You might even argue that in your business, you at least partly manage every element. Am I right? But the innovation of Baldrige is not found in the individual elements. It's found in the arrows. The Baldrige framework, like all management approaches, requires that you build a management system where all the required elements interconnect, like the gears in a management machine. But building that machine is very difficult, because it's mostly up to you to figure out how to turn theory into practice. Larger organizations often hire an army of consultants and programmers to do their heavy lifting, but startups and small businesses don't have that luxury. They often spend years of frustrating trial and error trying to fit all the pieces together. Eventually, every successful, long-lived company figures it out. But how much time and money did they have to pour into the effort? And how many failed before putting the last pieces into place? So to save you the time and trouble and money, we have created First Steps. It's an innovative management bootcamp for you and your company. With First Steps, we provide you with the training and tools you need to start filling your company's management gap. And we do it using ManageHub, which is free cloud-based management software that creates your Baldrige framework ready-made and ready to use. All you need to do is customize it with your company's departments, processes, and people, and then use your private ManageHub workspaces to document your company's know-how and improve every aspect of your company. So, we invite you to participate in this groundbreaking initiative. To get started, visit ManageHub.com to create your company's ManageHub and download your free ManageHub book, and then visit the URL on your screen to sign up for your free First Steps workshops and to receive support. Together, we can solve the problem of the L-shaped curve. We can help more startups and small businesses succeed, and we can start with your company. Thank you for listening. We hope you're excited about First Steps, and please sign up now.